An American submarine torpedoed and sank an Iranian warship in the Indian Ocean on Tuesday. 80 bodies have been pulled from the water near Sri Lanka. The ship had just left a multinational naval exercise hosted by India and was struck without warning in international waters, 2,000 miles from Iran's shores. You're watching NowBurst. You're one of the first to get the full breakdown of what just happened. The warship was the Iris Dena, a vessel attached to Iran's southern fleet, first launched in 2015. According to ship documentation reviewed by Sri Lankan authorities, roughly 180 people were on board when it went down about 40 kilometers off Sri Lanka's southern coastline. Sri Lanka's Navy picked up a distress call early Wednesday morning and sent rescue teams. When they arrived, there was no ship, no other vessels in sight, just oil patches, life rafts, and bodies floating in open water. 80 crew members were recovered dead. 32 were pulled out alive, all seriously injured and taken to a hospital in the southern port city of Gao. The rest are unaccounted for. Before anyone knew what had happened, Sri Lankan Navy spokesman Boudica Sampath rejected early reports that the Iris Dena had been attacked by a submarine. Then, hours later, United States Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth stepped in front of cameras and confirmed it. He said a U.S. submarine had destroyed an Iranian warship that believed it was safe in international waters. He described it as a quiet death by torpedo on Tuesday. He didn't name the vessel. The Pentagon released video of the strike. A ship hit amidships, its stern rising sharply before an explosion tore through the hull. But the Iris Dena wasn't on a combat patrol. The ship had just participated in International Fleet Review 2026, a multinational military exercise hosted by India's Navy. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said it was a guest of India's Navy carrying almost 130 sailors and was struck in international waters without warning. He called the sinking an atrocity at sea and wrote on X, "Mark my words, the U.S. will come to bitterly regret the precedent it has set." The United States has not publicly addressed the claim that the vessel was returning from a joint exercise or responded to Araghchi's characterization of the strike. Hegseth also stated it was the first sinking of an enemy ship by a torpedo since World War II. That claim needs context. It is the first time since 1945 that a U.S. submarine has sunk an enemy vessel this way. But the United Kingdom torpedoed the Argentine cruiser General Belgrano during the Falklands War in 1982, and Pakistan has also sunk a vessel by torpedo in combat since then. The strike didn't come out of nowhere. The Iris Dena went down as U.S. and Israeli airstrikes on Iran entered their 5th consecutive day. On Wednesday, the Israeli military said it had hit security headquarters across Tehran. Strikes attributed to Iran were reported in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait the same day. Turkey said NATO defenses intercepted an Iranian missile heading toward its territory. The conflict escalated sharply after Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei was assassinated on Saturday. Several fronts are now active. No diplomatic channel appears open between the main players. And the sinking raises a question every Navy has to answer. The Iris Dena was in international waters. Iran says it was returning from a peacetime multilateral exercise hosted by India, a country that maintains working relationships with both Washington and Tehran. In Iran's stated position, targeting a ship under those circumstances is an attack on freedom of navigation norms. In the U.S. stated position, it was a military vessel belonging to a hostile state during an active conflict. Both framings have consequences beyond this one engagement. Navies around the world are watching what this turns into. Sri Lanka has walked a careful line throughout. It has stayed neutral, calling for restraint and immediate de-escalation from all concerned parties. Its Navy responded under international search and rescue obligations. Sri Lankan Foreign Minister Vijitha Herath paid tribute to the late Ayatollah Khamenei after his assassination. A government spokesman later said Sri Lanka would issue formal condolences regarding all deaths resulting from the conflict, including those of Iranian leaders and officials. The immediate question is what comes next. Iran says the U.S. will regret the precedent it set. The U.S. has shown it will strike Iranian military assets far from the Persian Gulf. India hosted the very exercise the Iris Dena was returning from, placing New Delhi between two powers it deals with regularly. And every navy currently operating in the Indian Ocean is recalculating the risk. In Galley, 32 Iranian sailors are in hospital beds. Somewhere in the Indian Ocean, dozens more from the Iris Dena remain unaccounted for. One torpedo, two entirely different readings of what it means. How the world categorizes this strike may shape the rules of naval engagement for a generation.